Every channel has its own agenda when it comes to what is broadcasted on television. Whether it's news, entertainment, or even cop shows, there is always a level of brainwashing involved. When we see cops running up in blacks' houses claiming they heard shots, it raises questions about who is really in control. Is it the big corporations, the police themselves, or the media? Let's delve into some different outlines that highlight the brainwashing tactics used in cop shows on television. Let me start by saying what the scriptures say, Ecclesiastes 5:8. If you see the oppression of the poor and the denial of justice and righteousness in the province, do not be astonished at the matter, for one official is watched by a superior, and others higher still are over them. 1. Cop shows often portray a distorted view of reality, where police officers are always portrayed as heroes who never make mistakes. This can lead viewers to believe that law enforcement is infallible, when in reality, there have been numerous cases of police corruption and abuse of power. 2. Cop shows often perpetuate stereotypes about certain communities, particularly communities of color. By constantly depicting people of color as criminals, cop shows reinforce harmful prejudices and make it seem like racial profiling is justified. 3. Cop shows often glamorize violence and aggression, making it seem as though excessive force is necessary in order to maintain law and order. This can desensitize viewers to real-life instances of police brutality and make it seem like violence is the only solution to crime. 4. Cop shows rarely depict the consequences of police misconduct or corruption. In the real world, officers who break the law are often protected by their colleagues and face little to no consequences for their actions. By failing to address these issues, cop shows contribute to a culture of impunity within law enforcement. 5. Cop shows often rely on sensationalism and shock value to attract viewers, leading to exaggerated and unrealistic portrayals of crime and justice. This can create a distorted view of the criminal justice system and reinforce harmful stereotypes about crime and punishment. 6. Cop shows often portray surveillance and monitoring as necessary tools for fighting crime, without addressing the implications for civil liberties and privacy rights. By normalizing invasive surveillance practices, cop shows can make it seem like constant monitoring is acceptable in the name of public safety. 7. Cop shows frequently depict officers going rogue and breaking the rules in order to catch a criminal, romanticizing vigilante justice and undermining the rule of law. This can send the dangerous message that it's okay to bend or break the rules in pursuit of justice, no matter the cost. 8. Cop shows often present a simplistic and black and white view of crime and justice, failing to address the complexities and nuances of the legal system. By reducing complex issues to a series of moral absolutes, cop shows can mislead viewers about the realities of law enforcement and criminal justice. 9. Cop shows often glorify the use of force and violence as a means to an end, perpetuating the myth that might makes right. By presenting violence as a viable solution to social problems, cop shows can contribute to a culture of aggression and conflict. 10. Cop shows frequently depict officers as lone heroes who single-handedly take down criminals, without acknowledging the importance of teamwork and collaboration in law enforcement. This can create unrealistic expectations about the capabilities of individual officers and undermine the collective efforts of police departments. 11. Cop shows often depict police officers as above the law, exempt from the same rules and standards that apply to ordinary citizens. This can foster a sense of entitlement and impunity among law enforcement officials, leading to abuses of power and misconduct. 12. Cop shows often portray the criminal justice system as flawless and infallible, failing to address the systemic issues and biases that can result in wrongful convictions and miscarriages of justice. By presenting a misleadingly positive image of the legal system, cop shows can obscure the realities of inequality and injustice within the system. 13. Cop shows often prioritize drama and excitement over accuracy and authenticity, sacrificing realism in favor of sensationalism. This can create unrealistic expectations about the capabilities and limitations of law enforcement, leading to misunderstandings about the complexities of crime and justice. 14. Cop shows often exploit fear and paranoia to generate suspense and tension, relying on stereotypes and cliches to create a sense of danger and urgency. By playing on viewers' fears and insecurities, cop shows can manipulate emotions and distort perceptions of reality. 15. Cop shows often perpetuate the myth of the good cop versus the bad cop, oversimplifying the complexities of law enforcement and criminal justice. This binary portrayal can reinforce stereotypes and misconceptions about police officers and criminal behavior, perpetuating a false dichotomy of morality and villainy. In conclusion, cop shows on television are not just entertainment, they are powerful tools that shape public perception and influence social attitudes. Through the use of brainwashing tactics, cop shows can perpetuate harmful stereotypes, normalize violence and aggression, and distort realities about crime and justice. By critically examining these outlines presented, viewers can develop a more nuanced understanding of the ways in which cop shows on television can manipulate and influence public opinion. It is important to approach these portrayals with a critical eye and a healthy skepticism, in order to resist the brainwashing tactics employed by media corporations and law enforcement agencies. By challenging the narratives presented in cop shows and demanding more accurate and responsible representations of crime and justice, viewers can help to combat the brainwashing effects of these popular television programs. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil, appears in the Bible in Romans 13:3. This verse is part of a passage that encourages people to obey the authorities and do what is right. In this passage, Paul is explaining that Christians should not resist authorities, who are God's servants, and should not embrace anarchy. Instead, Christians should live responsibly as citizens and do what is good. 10 down WJ, where creativity meets impact. 10 down WJ, E, N, T.